We've gotten a hold of some great cars for this show, and we're going to continue to showcase cars for real people.
But we get the chance to drive exotics, and we want to share it with you. It's fun to dream, so we got to drive these cars every now and then.
We call it Exotic Driver, and we hope that you'll enjoy these occasional moments of car porn.
This is the Corvette ZR1. This is the most expensive, most powerful, fastest, baddest, most ridiculous Corvette ever made.
Now look at the exterior of this car. It looks like rodeo clowns designed this thing. I mean, they're professionals, they mostly know what they're doing, but they're crazy.
The styling adheres to the entire mantra of this car, of just bigger, more, angrier, try to hurt someone. The back is so wide, it rivals most pickup trucks.
Now why is it that every time I see a Corvette, it's being driven by some 60-year-old guy at about 55 miles an hour? I've never seen a Corvette go fast.
We're going to try launch control on a Corvette ZR1. You set up the traction control correctly, put it into first, floor it, and dump the clutch. This engine explodes with horsepower. When you put your foot to the floor, it takes on a completely different personality. Valves in the exhaust open up.
I'm just shocked when I stick my foot in the throttle. It compresses the piss right out of you. This car is one pissed off son of a bitch.
This is a lesson in overkill. It's like driving a nail with a sledgehammer. You can do it, but it's entirely unnecessary.
I mean, this car is so fast, dental records don't matter.
This is a 200-mile-an-hour Chevy.
Holy cow. And we're going entirely too fast, and I can see that on this really cool heads-up display.
The problem with a head-up display like this is that you can no longer say, "Officer, I had no idea," because, yeah, you did.
Nobody else on the road really comprehends how quickly you're coming at them. So they'll pull up right in front of you. They've got no clue how fast you're closing the distance.
The ZR1 can change the way you drive fast because it can do things that you're probably not used to.
It's kind of like, welcome to Freeway On-Ramps 101. On this week's episode, the ZR1. The ZR1 comes with cruise control. I wonder if it works at 200 miles an hour.
These carbon brakes are so good. You can brake ridiculously, frighteningly, stupidly late into the corner.
I can honestly say I've never felt better brakes. These brakes will yank the organs right out of your chest.
Now the ZR1 costs $110,000, but this one that we have here is $125 grand. And part of that extra cost is a $10,000 package that mainly gives you a slightly better stereo and all leather in the interior.
I mean, it's just kind of like a standard Corvette with slightly different stitching and a little bit of carbon fiber fakery.
What if you took $10,000 to an upholsterer and said, "Give me a leather interior"? It'd be a lot better than this is.
The ZR1 very much feels like truck people did the fastest thing they could think of. Look at the instrument panel. It's really nothing special.
All the graphics in here on the information screen, the heads-up display, and frankly even the nav screen look like they're about 10 years behind, and it's just not a pretty interior design. The worst part, though, is still the seats.
This is their hottest car ever. The seats need to hold you. It feels like Lazy Boy designed these things.
You'd think they could walk into a little company like Recaro and go, "Hi, we're here to buy some seats." And like all Corvettes, there's a good amount of actual cabin space in spite of the poor seats.
This car is so wide, it's kind of a usable exotic. It's just, where would you drive this thing?
Because of these adjustable shocks and an amazing ride selection system, the car almost ends up with two distinct personalities, with the touring suspension setting at 6th gear on the highway. You you can forget that this car can stop the turn of the Earth.
And what you can do is change from touring over to sport. What that does is instantly firms up the shocks.
Magnetic adjustable shocks on all four corners. That's never been on a Corvette before.
So that means the car corners even flatter, which means you can carry more speed through the corner right before you die.
The Corvette ZR1 has some similarities to the Nissan GTR because they were both designed by kind of an outsider to run with the fastest things on the planet. Both cars have succeeded, but they've gone about it very differently.
Now the difference between this car and say the GTR is you really have to be careful and know what you're doing.
But you are aware of the sensations of grip. You can actually feel the forces going on in the car a little bit better than you can in something like the GTR.
I don't want to die in this thing.
The ZR1 corners as flat as a table. I swear I could set a glass of water on the hood and not spill a drop. It's definitely a car that sets the bar high for the driver. You're aware of how much is available, how far you'd have to go and learn to really find the edges of this car. And GM has even taken the traction control system and given it degrees where you can keep dialing up more and more aggression so that you as a driver can grow with the car.
The thing is, it's like using a shotgun to kill a pigeon from a foot away. And that's a very American way of thinking. You know what? If a lot is good, more must be better.
This car is just stupid insane.
It's really fast, it's really cool. But for this kind of money, I can think of all kinds of slightly used cars that I would rather have.
The interior is just flat out disappointing, especially for a triple-digit car. It needs a full redesign, but you cannot argue with the performance in every other way.